not a complaint, it's an observation. All that he's saying is, if you give any extension for compliance, don't do that. Please do it much in advance.
Correct. So that we can take in steps.
My question is that if there is a requirement, even if it is labeling, and we say that this will be applicable from 1st of January.
Right, correct.
Now what you are saying is if you want to extend it further,
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
why don't issue it on 31st December, issue it well
in advance.
My question is, why should, in the first instance, why should there be a need for extension? Because already 5 or 6 months time or 3 months time has been given.
I am not asking, or anybody, any manufacturer is not
Let me
asking.
complete. Then what happens is 10 days before or 15 days before we start receiving representations कि भाई अभी हम कंप्लाई नहीं कर पाए हैं, अभी हमारा लेबल्स छपे हुए रखे हैं, अगर हम नया लेबल करेंगे तो वो हमारा सब वेस्ट हो जाएगा, so can you please extend this by another 6 months? So 10-15 days before this request starts pouring in, and depending upon the number of requests, we take a view. We want to be helpful because the small manufacturers, वो सब जितना प्रिंट करके रखा है वो सब वेस्ट हो जाएगा. लेबलिंग का जो लाइसेंस और लोगो का हमने 2 बार एक्सटेंड किया है.
Even the last
अभी
one.
but एक किसी दिन फुल स्टॉप होना चाहिए. There should not be further request for extension every time. Most of the time जितने भी advisors होगा हर एक में extension मांगते हैं.
No sir, even the last advisory, I think labeling and packaging regulations, which expire I think on 1st January 2015.
On the license number and logo.
Not license number, packaging.
That is the one. Packaging and labeling though is already in place.
In place of melting point, that saturated fatty and other acids, that is comes.
Fatty, saturated fatty.
Acha, now I understand what you are saying.
Yeah. That
Trans fats and fatty acids.
fatty acid in place of melting point and all. So whether we have to follow melting point on this saturated fatty, we need to decide.
Okay.
My next question is that, sir.
One phase one, there are a lot of
My request is in the product approval, the confusion is between the nutraceutical product and the food products. If they can put 2 different tracks for the approval, probably the food product will get approved faster.
You see, all requests for product approval in the nutraceutical sector is going to the nutraceutical panel all the time. Most of the time, barring cases where there is already an approval given to one company and another company also wants to do the same thing, then we refer to that and give the clearance. Otherwise, if it's a new request, most of the time it is new request, it goes to the scientific panel on nutraceuticals. Based on their opinion, the NOC or product approval is given by
I was
the.
just thinking if we can put 2 different tracks, the approval on food product will get faster.
But it is already it is a part of the advisory of 11th May, and the principle that we are following internally is nutraceuticals goes to the scientific panel, others are considered first.
The other one is for the import.
Secondly, if there is, I was about to say that, if there is any import consignment which is pending, priority is given to those cases where such product approvals are required. They are considered first. It doesn't mean that it will be agreed, but they are considered on priority because some consignment is already waiting. But कोशिश ये करना चाहिए कि आप don't import a product unless you have that product approval. Because unnecessarily your demurrage, you pay the demurrage.
Otherwise, on the label, if there is a corrective, the defects can be corrected here. That should be published. I mean,
There are 3-4 defects which are allowed to be corrected.
Yeah.
Others are not allowed.
If you can add, put the full label, not sticker or something, then it should be allowed.
So this
It has to come from the manufacturer.
So this
It cannot be done here. If labeling ke over, we can have a long discussion. And there are several examples that I can quote about non-compliances and frauds that have taken place. So we have adopted a principle and we are sticking to that principle.
No, not on the product conformance. Suppose the label non-conformance, then it should.
I'm talking about the labels only, gentlemen. I'm talking about the label.
Large
labeling
scale
only.
manufacturing in the importer, small.
Yes, those requirements are laid down very clearly in the labeling regulation, and we are sticking to that. We have not made any change, and we will not allow that change unless the regulation is changed. Once the regulation is changed, we will follow the new system. And let me also tell you, these regulations are aligned with the